illegal. When the other side of this, when we find out who you are, you're losing everything. That $1,000, enjoy it now, because it's coming to an end. This video is for ICE agents or bounty hunters who have been deputized by Department of Homeland Security or the Immigration and Customs Enforcement, and they've been told by their supervisor or Tom Homan or Kristi Noem or Donald Trump or Pam Bondi that you're good, that you can violate the law, because you know the stuff that you're doing is against the law. How do I know you know this? Because if you're a bounty hunter by trade, you know the limitations. You know the things that you normally can do and can't do. And you know the stuff that you do as a bounty hunter is separate from the stuff that police officers did, because 9 times out of 10, more likely than not, you probably tried to get into the police academy and you failed a test, you couldn't get the physical test, or something about it didn't work out. You've always wanted to be a cop. You always wanted to have that badge. You want to have that. And so this is your opportunity. So you're a bounty hunter instead, or you did other things instead, and you answer the call to get $1,000 per illegal, and you're just like, bet, I'm going to do it. I get to do whatever I want. These guys tell me I can do it. I'm straight. Now, here's the thing. I'm telling you now. Now, I don't know how you've seen this video, because my name is JJ Legal. I have 2 law degrees. I practice regulatory law, practice and we're getting Supreme Court briefs, federal district court briefs, so know what I'm talking about. You want to know how, wait a minute, you were saying that I could be liable? What about Donald Trump pardoning the January 6ers? Here, there's state laws that Donald Trump cannot pardon. What you're doing, and you know you're doing, is against the law. You know it. And here's the thing, the laws that you're breaking, doesn't matter if you know it. Intent, meaning like knowfully doing it, or doesn't matter. You cannot use the excuse, the defense that somebody told me I can do it. It was in this manual. They said to they said to take off the license plate. They said to not announce ourselves. They told us to cover our faces. They said to not announce our badges. They told us it's okay to go into people's homes without announcing ourselves, without a federal warrant, because that's what they told us. Listen here, the laws that I'm about to share with you doesn't matter. And here's the thing, the statute of limitations, what the statute of limitations means, that means Donald Trump, no matter what you believe or think, he's on his way out. That's why he's doing all this crazy stuff. He's on his way out. No matter how he's on his way out, he has a minimum of 2.5 years. If we can get rid of him early or whatever, at the statute of limitation is 5 years. Meaning the next administrations, forget what people say. There are not going to be any more elections. I can't stand when people say that nonsense. There's going to be elections, and there's a good chance that the next president is going to be a Democrat. There's a really great chance, right? People are tired of this Trump. Trump's like kind of damaged the MAGA brand. High likelihood the next person is going to be a Democrat. The statute of limitations is 5 years. So it means that when they find out, they're going to find out who you are. There's different ways to track you. You're going to be on the hook for the following federal laws, can't be, and state laws. So let's say you get caught, we figure out who you are, states start prosecuting. Donald Trump can't save you from state laws. He can't pardon himself. He can't pardon himself. And he definitely can't pardon himself with state laws, because right now he's a 34-time convict in the state of New York. Unpardonable straight finishes. So first, let's go through the federal stuff that you're on the hook for, all right? Okay, so there's this law right here, deprivation of rights under color of law. That means when you use force without due process, criminal liability is what you're looking at. All right, that's 18 U.S.C. 242. Now let's look at exceeding authorized use of force. This is when you're misusing your authority. So this goes to you supervisors out there. You're telling people that they get excessively handcuffed, force removal. You can be prosecuted if you are supervising telling people to do this. So exceeding authorized use of force by federal agents within the jurisdiction can trigger automatic liability if it involves weapons or serious bodily harm. So people you're jacking up, when they're hurt, they can make claims against you. All right, if you're a supervisor or whatever. So that's 18 U.S.C. subsection 13. Look that up. That's what you're federal. Now, the Posse Comitatus Act violations, 18 U.S.C. 1385. Now, this is where ICE agents bring in military-style units without jurisdiction. So this is when they deputize National Guard acting in civilian law enforcement without authority. Can trigger criminal liability regardless of intent. So it does not matter. Whenever you see the word intent, it means you can't say that I didn't know or somebody told me to do this. That's strict liability. Once you do it, you're on the hook. Now, you have qualified immunity exceptions. Normally, somebody might say, well, states can't be fined or federal agents can't be fined. However, if what you're doing is a clear constitutional violation, Fourth Amendment, violations of going up to people without probable cause, without reasonable suspicion, and jacking them up because you don't even know their name. You don't know if they're here legally, because unless you saw them or someone had a witness of this person, you're just going up to people based on the fact of being Hispanic and they round them up. That's a violation of Fourth Amendment. That's a constitutional violation. So the normal protection that you would get for civil lawsuits say that you can't, there's immunity for government actors, but if what the government actor did is so clear a violation, like Fourth Amendment search and seizure, what you're doing, immunity doesn't apply. All right, so now let's get into state laws. Here's the stuff that you cannot be pardoned from by Donald Trump. Let's get into that. In a lot of states, when you detain someone without probable cause or judicial process, it's automatically a criminal offense. And even if you say agency, meaning like even if someone told you to do that, you are personally liable criminally in state law. So these blue states, when they find out who you are, you can be criminally liable. Now, impersonating a law enforcement officer, if an agent covers their badge, hides their ID, uses an unmarked car, or no clear authority, many states strict liability. So when y'all stripping off your license plate, violating the law, that is true in California, Illinois, and New York. It's a felony, regardless of your intent. Again, you cannot say somebody told me. Tom Homan, these people are setting y'all up. Criminal liability means go to jail. Battery by law enforcement. Some states have automatic principles, criminal penalties for officers who use force without following lawful arrest procedures. So before you identify yourself, y'all are not identifying yourself before probable cause. Y'all arresting people just based on being Hispanic, and it triggers criminal assault and battery. Y'all are setting up personally to go to jail. Violations of civil rights under call of state laws. So several states, California, Bain Act allows for criminal and civil liability. Here's the civil thing, that's your money. Interfering or constitutional rights by threats, intimidation, coercion. That's all you've been doing. What happens when you're civilly sued? That means they can attach, they get a judgment, they're attaching your house, your car, your clothes, your future tax refunds. So you're getting $1,000 per illegal. When the other side of this, when we find out who you are, you're losing everything. That $1,000, enjoy it now because it's coming to an end. All right, so in summary, it says a lot of the violations, including unlawful search and seizure without a warrant, the physical assault of people in the street, the false imprisonment, the kidnapping, impersonating an officer, misusing force during non-judicial deportations, they violate civil and criminal laws in states. You're talking about state assault and battery laws, state felonies. These are strict liability, which means it does not matter if you had intent. And a lot of states, no intent is needed. So long as you're exceeding federal authority, you're not going to be getting the immunity that's normally afforded to state actors. You're talking about violating the Fourth Amendment, and especially if badges are covered, especially when you act without probable cause, it's automatic. When you're hiding your ID, that means you're liable. There's laws to protect people against intimidation and coercion, and a lot of these just trigger state and federal liabilities. And again, as I said before, these laws are the statute of limitations means they're like 5 years and beyond, mean that after Donald Trump is gone, the next administration can come after you. So keep it up here. What this says is that families are going to start suing you guys. And it's going to impact your homes, your savings, your pensions. This is the end of it. So that's just letting you know. I don't know why y'all think that there's other side of this, because Rudy Giuliani lost his house. There's a lot of Donald Trump people who went to jail, lost their law license. Look it up. There's a lot of Trump associates. After this was done, they did all sorts of stuff. Right now, Mark Meadows, who was Donald Trump's chief of staff, he's right now being criminally prosecuted in Georgia for the finding the votes case. And he went to Supreme Court to ask Supreme Court to save, and Supreme Court said no. The Supreme Court said no to Donald Trump escaping state liability. So the blue states that y'all doing this in don't have the same empathy for you guys, and y'all are terrorizing their citizens, and it's just a matter of time. Tick-tock, it's coming, and when it comes, your house, your liberty is called. So if you want to keep doing this and think you can get away with it, you're going to be unmasked, especially when blue states start passing laws. Their law enforcement is going to be arresting y'all. So enjoy it while it lasts. Enjoy those tacos. Enjoy the little boat, because it's coming in. JJ Legal. Share this video so other people know.